This is Shooting USA, with news and information for America's gun owners.
Reenactors. The most visible are Civil War reenactors who frequently gather to restage the battles of the war between the states. And they like to draw a crowd of spectators to see history on display. But there's another group of history buffs who are quite simply not visible. They're the 1,000 members of the GWA, the Great War Association, that twice a year gather on their private property for a total immersion reenactment of the trench battles of World War I. Nothing on the property is newer than 1918, except our high-definition camera, as videographer Chris Gerlach, dressed as a combat photographer, captured the extraordinary event.
We want to, one, memorialize those who served in the Great War. We try to also, at the same time, experience a living history aspect of it. And so it's the idea of you read it in a book, but then you live it here, and it enhances your understanding of what happened, why it happened, and who did it.
And live it they do through the Great War Association's Living History event in Newville, Pennsylvania. Members gather from around the world to portray units that served on the Western Front in 1918. Just about every combating nationality is accounted for: German, British, American, and French. You may even find a little-known contingent of Russian soldiers represented. Yes, Russians, on the Western Front.
We portray a Russian unit that was sent to Western France to assist the Allies during World War I. About 20,000 men that were sent to France, and by the end of the war there were about 400 men left.
Knowing the history of the soldiers and units being portrayed is the key to achieving authenticity, and here authenticity is a must. You'll find it in the uniforms, the firearms, and in some cases, even the language.
I picked French up just so I could read the manuals and read soldiers' accounts and things like that. And most of the time, you were just issuing orders and, quick, brief comments in French. I think it not only adds realism to the guys in the French units, but also if the British are coming through or there's some Americans passing by and you're speaking in French. I think the submersion level for everyone increases that way.
But there is one element that increases everyone's submersion level more than possibly any other living history event anywhere.
It's the land.
We own our own site. It's a very unique position in reenacting circles. And so we have 80 acres where we have trenches, bunkers, the strong points, gun positions. All of that have to be done pretty much in a historical perspective.
It's a tremendous responsibility to maintain authentically a slice of this land.
Yeah, it's almost like the trench becomes part of your gear.
Absolutely.
Part of your uniform.
You realize and appreciate what it took to be able to maintain a battlefront. You learn to appreciate what the common soldier went through. 80 acres helps us do that.
So when the GWA reunites twice a year in a little spot of Pennsylvania, it may very well be as close as you can get to knowing what it was really like to live and fight in the trenches of World War I.
We have a lot of fun. We go at it. It's kind of friendly in a way. And we do get along. But on the battlefield, we are bitter enemies and we fight down to the wire.
So it's a historical research hobby, and it's an action game.
When you're going through the trench line and you're hearing shots and you're dodging grenades and you're seeing shells and you're seeing planes dive at you out of the sky and they're strafing you, and oh my goodness.
Soldaten, forwards! Forwards!
How did a soldier feel being told to go up over the top? How do you feel, especially when you're told to go up over the top again after you've seen 10 of your friends die?
The satisfaction here is defending your positions and not the enemy get in. This is very competitive.
Grenade!
But what is the significance of it? It's called living history. It's like being there.
We got a grenade?
That's right, die.
You're seeing what someone else saw in a different time. That is, I think, what attracts people to this hobby. Sometimes I think that's what we do, is we read the book, we put it back on the shelf, and it goes away. When you go through an experience like this, it stays with you. It's a memory.
The Great War Association, living history with the guns of World War I on their private property outside Newville, Pennsylvania. Interested? We got info at the website shootingusa.com.